Hello and welcome to the very first episode of APL Pressbox. I'm Sharif, if you don't already know me, and we got here Fedi. Just a quick intro what this is about. Actually, this is going to be a podcast about everything APL related. Let all of you be able to follow along the story of what's going on in APL. We're going to take a look at highlights that we're getting from the matches. We're going to look at the standings, like, who's in the relegation zone and playoff zone, and take a look at like the match of the week. So every week we have like a match of the week. Going to send like a videographer out there, get some cool highlights.
Yeah, so APL Pressbox, we're going to be covering everything APL. Premier and some championship. We're gonna discuss some fan pulled topics. We're gonna talk to managers and players throughout the season, and this will also be something that we'll do off season. Maybe not as consistently as we are when we're during the season, but yeah, I mean, tune in and join the show every week, every Friday, hopefully. We'll give you a little insight on what APL is all about.
To give a recap about what happened in game week 1, we had a lot of interesting things happen. Our game week 1 game of the week was Herndon City versus Loudoun Inter. So let's take a look at actually the results from that game, and then we could also look at the results from the other games. Looking at the results of game week 1, World Class Premier. They beat VA Galaxy 4-2. Tyson City lost to ASA. ASA beat them 2-1. Los Tauros beat Borussia Dallas 3-0. Loudoun Inter tied with Herndon City 2-2. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Take a look at some of the highlights from that game. And then Fighting Bods and Yins United tied 3-3. But a lot of exciting things happened here. But let's quickly, before we look at the highlights of the game of the week, let's look at the standings. So Los Tauros right now, they are top of the table based off of goal difference, but the way that we actually determine the different differentiating factor between teams isn't goal difference. It's like head to head, I think, right, Fedi? Is that?
Yeah. So I mean, as the season goes along and teams start to accumulate more points, you'll start to see the positions, really have to do more with head-to-head as opposed to goal differential.
Right.
So when teams are tied on points, the head-to-head, results way more.
Right. And then we got World Class second, ASA third. So basically, top 3 teams all racked up a win. And then we've got Herndon City, Loudoun Inter, Fighting Bods, 4th, 5th, and 6th, because they tied their games, as well as Yins United. And then right now, bottom 3, Tyson City, VA Galaxy, Borussia Dallas. So the bottom 2 are in the relegation zone, and then the top 6 are in the playoff zone. 7th and 8th, they're just safe. They don't get playoffs. They don't get relegated. So
they're just surviving.
They're just surviving, just making their way through. But obviously, this table is going to change as we go along the season. But let's take a look at some of the highlights. We had some pretty cool things happening. This nutmeg is just unreal. Look at this. He just. I'm sorry. I feel. Listen, we've all been in this Loudoun Inter player's shoes, and we all know how that feels. If we were lucky enough to also be in the nutmegger's position, I mean, listen, that how amazing it feels to pull that off. So props on him for doing that. That's a great shout for him. And then I'm gonna pull up another piece of footage we have here. It's a free kick that Loudoun Inter scored, long range. Goalie there, a little bit of a controversial save, I would say. I don't know if the free kick was extraordinary or maybe there could have been a better save, but either way, let's take a look at it in slow motion. Obviously, you guys, the viewers, can decide what your thoughts are on that. I mean, I mean, it's a great free kick. It's got good power. Placement is nice, but I think the goalie might be a little disappointed with himself there. But anyways, we got some more footage. Let's keep going and take a look. So, Loudon Inter wearing red, long ball, sends their forward through, fast feet, slots it in the bottom left corner. I mean, look at that. Look at that. He's really happy with himself there, and he should be. And then we got Herndon City. They've got a nice goal there. Looks like a rebound off of the keeper save. So well done on them. Then we got a penalty kick. Hamza, stutter step, puts it in. Class act. 2-2. And unfortunately, that was the final score for both teams. So it could have gone either way, but lots of fun action there. But I think those are some of the highlights that we have for this game of the week. Obviously, next game of the week we will probably have some more interesting highlights as well. Of course, fan submitted highlights. We will always check those out. We love those.
So we have Tauros and Tysons. That's a match that we've seen the last 3 seasons now. These guys have met in the playoffs before. Just to give you guys a little background on them, historically Tysons hasn't had a good record against Tauros. They've been able to put up a good fight a couple times, but I went out to see Tysons last week, and I'm pretty impressed with their squad. So a little different from a turbulent Winter Cup that they had, but I think they got some fresh legs in there. They got a new squad, and I think that matchup is going to be pretty exciting to watch. And then we have Yins and ASA, old rivals. That's going to be another interesting matchup to see. ASA are our current champions, our fall champions, and going up against a monster in Yins, one of our new clubs to join us this year. So that's going to be a really big game to watch out for, and that also is going to be one of our match of the weeks. So congratulations to those 2 teams for getting the match of the week. And then our other match of the week actually is going to be Fighting Bods and Via Galaxy. Via Galaxy is a team that was with us since the summer, and they got relegated their first season, and they bounced back right away from championship. They finished top of the championship division, and they're back. I'm sure they're hungry, and I'm sure they don't want to go down. They lost their first game to the World Class up in Maryland, so I think that's going to be another interesting game against Bods. And we got Herndon City and Dulles. That's going to be a very interesting match. 2 teams that have played each other for a couple of seasons now. And I believe the last time they played each other, Dulles won that game 4-1. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I know I've seen Dulles over the past couple of weeks. They've done some good recruitment, and typically these are the games where historically they've performed a little.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Dulles is one of those teams that
Dulles has not gotten relegated at all.
They play up to competition, and sometimes they play down to competition. And so Herndon City is one of those mid-table teams. I think the highest they finish is fifth or sixth. So Dulles, when they play some of those teams that are maybe a little bit on the same level, it's kind of an even game. So that's one of those games where Herndon City's very organized, very prepared, very fit, and Dulles can sometimes they can catch you on the counter. Very good first half team, and so that's gonna be a good match to look out for. And then our last one is World Class and Loudon Inter. That's gonna be a really good game. Loudon Inter are fall finalists, and World Class was our first place team in the regular season last season as well. And that home crowd, I mean, me and you have gone to those games in world class up there in Maryland. That's a pretty tough crowd to play in front of.
Oh yeah, their
Um,
home fans are really
yeah,
really awesome.
yeah.
It's a
So
great atmosphere.
that's going to be a game. I mean, out of all the games, if I had to make a prediction on one of these games, being a draw, I'd probably pick this game. I really can't pick a winner for this one. I mean, both have strengths that are each other's weaknesses. So it's just going to be one of those toss-up games, and I think just based on the level of these teams and the way they perform, I think this game's going to be a draw.
For sure. All right. Well, we got a lot of exciting action to look forward to. Just before we move on, we just want to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, New Paradigm Recovery. I'm just going to pull up their website really quick so we can see what they're all about. Paradigm Recovery has pretty much been APL's first sponsor and has been with us since the beginning. So we just want to give a very, very big shout out. We couldn't have been, doing all this without them. So they're a drug and alcohol rehab and recovery company that, really helps people get back on their feet and live, in the best version they can be. So thank you again. Shout out to them. Reach out if you do need their services.
Give us some time. I know this isn't going to be, the best produced podcast in the beginning.
For a first time,
but
for the first
time, I think if you guys know us, for the guys that know us, and for the guys that don't know us, we have a proven track record to getting things fixed and getting things right. So tune in, listen every week. We definitely want as much fan interaction, and we're gonna give you the real biz on what's going on in the league.
The real biz.
The real biz.
What is the real biz?
The real business.
What does that even mean? Explain.
Give people the low on what's going on. Things they don't see on Instagram or our website. Some real information on what's going on. Some of the team activities and just kind of inside scoop of APL things that people don't see. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, and obviously we only want to discuss things that you guys want to things.
Like that.
A whole bunch of things.
Whole bunch of things.
We want to we have a lot of things that we want to talk about. But obviously we don't want to go too much into things that aren't going to be of interest, obviously.
Next podcast, Messi versus Ronaldo. Fans, call in. Let us know your opinion. Who's the GOAT? Who's not?
Yeah, man. I mean, if people want, at the same time, we're open to talking about a plethora of things, plethora
is a big word, Fetty.
Yeah, plethora is a big word.
What is that?
But yeah, probably on the next episode, we'll definitely have a guest, surprise guest, and we'll dive a little bit into what how APL was started, what our goal here is over at APL, and talk about where we're going, where we're headed, what we're planning, and kind of just the scope of.
Sounds like you're about to start like a rap or something. Should have thrown a beat over that or something.
MCG. So tune in every Friday. This is kind of a little shoot the shit kind of podcast. This is our first episode, so we don't really have it completely down, but we're gonna get there pretty soon.
I have it down.
You got it down?
I don't know about you, but I got it down.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And maybe next time I can maybe do this, at your house or something, or you can come here at my house.
Anyways, this was APL Pressbox. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, we'll see you guys next Friday.
Next time.